way. Source naturals and desired way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7 Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
Good afternoon, welcome. We are hoping to connect again to Gabriel Christian. No, we need to continue a conversation and get him to, of course, respond to some of the accusations made against him last week. Let's listen first to a conversation from Mr. Floyd Capitola, who says he is a supporter of the Dominica Labour Party and its policies. Let's listen to Floyd.
Hello, good afternoon, Matt, and how are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Matt, I know by now you must have made up the voice. And although, Matt, I may not be in a position to, I don't know, it hurts my heart to have to be calling a program against Gabriel Christian.
Why?
And the reason why I have to call, because, this is Gabriel Christian, who was one of the guys who convinced me that we should change. We should look towards change. And we should move away from the Labour Party. And Matt, to my amazement, around 2013, when I looking for Gabriel to support the movement for change, Gabriel nowhere to be found. And I seen Gabriel coming to the Prime Minister office with a group of white persons. I must say from the discussion that he was looking for his passport for this person. And when Gabriel could no longer get the passport, it appears that maybe the due diligence did not qualify this person to become citizen. And now Gabriel has just come out to say that he wants a commission inquiry into the passport.
But you're saying that you're not sure whether or not the government, if you will, granted the passports that he was inquiring about, and maybe due diligence. But that as you just suggested, may not be factual. So you are assuming, I assume?
No, I am saying that based on his deliberations that he does not support the program and he thinks that these are be crooks and criminals and all of these are the ones get benefiting from that program. And he was one of those. I met this man. This man told me, Capitola, this is not the time for politics. I'm not in that politics thing again. That's what the man told me in 2013. He's not into that politics thing again.
Are you saying because of that he should not have some genuine concerns about what he believes is ongoing at this time? Really, quote unquote, the lack of transparency and some dubious thing going on there? Don't you think he should have some concerns?
No, if they are concerned and they are legitimate, I can understand that. But going by mere innuendos and things you hear, things you don't have facts to prove, and you have nothing that you can prove, and just opening your mouth with such authority that when you speak, people are supposed to start to run. And when persons were looking for you, that you backed away. Gabriel backed away. Last election, ask Lennox Linton, where was Gabriel Christian when he was looking for him? Ask the people around the United Workers' Party, they were looking for Gabriel.
But yes, some interesting questions, but don't you think it's coming under the wrong heading? We're talking the elections and now we're talking passports. Do you want to do that mix there?
No, I'm not saying it is a mix. I am saying that this man does not have the credibility. I mean, I had a lot of respect for Gabriel, and Gabriel was one of those guys who convinced me and made me believe that, boy, change is good. And when I look and I understand and listening to Gabriel, I'm shocked to hear Gabriel coming back.
But don't you think that these are genuine questions, though, Capital, as you've claimed? Genuine questions about the passports and the... Well, okay, let's just assume, Capital, as you say, that this passport program is above board and is transparent and everything is A-OK as it relates to passports and you know, people selling our passports, and it's a genuine program. Now, some people... Dominicans are saying that it's not above board. Don't you think a commission of inquiry as Gabriel Christian is asking, you know, should just surface and, you know, let the chips fall where they may? Don't you think that would be a good way to go?
Matt, in a country,
yes,
any program that the government does, whether it is the government is trying to do geothermal, whether they're trying to do the West Coast Bridge, whether they're trying to do the West Coast Road, whether they're trying to bring water to any community, whatever it is that the government is going to do, they're going to constantly be opposition. And oppositions have their role to play, that they feel that they have to oppose everything that is a matter for them as opposition. What I do not want and I do not appreciate that people use the opposition notion that they have to oppose and want to talk about good governance and bring the integrity into question. And what I'm questioning today is the integrity of someone like Gabriel Christian. I'm saying he lacked the credibility based on my association with him. He lacks credibility for me to want Gabriel Christian just because...
Okay, hold on. Because already I've been getting a number of texts of WhatsApp messages, and of course now that you've identified who you are, somebody's saying, isn't he the same Capitole who was saying a few years back that the Prime Minister fooled him 3 times? So, in other words, you almost appearing to be a Gabriel of some sort. So can you defend this?
I'm no longer associated to Roosevelt Skerrit and the Labour Party. He fooled me 3 times.
He fooled you. F-O-O-L-E-D.
Use of a better word, he lied to me.
He lied to you.
Yes, he lied to me 3 times. Matt, listen to me. I had a relationship, and a very good one indeed, with the Prime Minister back then, and you know that.
Right.
Everyone know that. I had a few situations with the Prime Minister, and I was young, I was immature, I was unstable, and I acted immorally and improperly to have gone on the radio and behaved the way I did. And I mean, Matt, for the record, I want to go on the record, and I want to say to the world and to Dominica that I apologize for those statements that I made then.
You apologize, okay.
I thought I was very immature. I thought that was very unbecoming of me. I thought that was very childish of me then to have had a discussion with someone and felt that the best way I would have been able to solve that is to come on a radio program and to do that. And Matt, I would also want to advise you, if you, your child, or anybody has a problem with someone, please don't encourage them to do like Capitol did and come on a radio program and debase himself like the way I did. And to Dominica, yes, I apologize for having made the statements because I associated myself with a group of persons who presented themselves like they were the solution and they wanted change. And when I looked and I got close to them, I realized that all these guys wanted was an exchange.
Okay, I'm happy you say that. So you have made a mistake. So maybe Mr. Gabriel, not speaking to him, can go back to 2013 when you said that you met him going up the ministry steps and said, you know what? I made a mistake. Couldn't it be looked at like that as well? And maybe he made a mistake?
But I find it.
I'm not talking for him by saying, but using the same references that you're using in terms of what you said back then, you're now apologizing. Couldn't he go back then in 2014 and said, you know what? I made a mistake when I went there in 2013 with the investors, as you claim.
But Gabriel is doing that too often, Matt. The man in 2012, 2011, he does not want to see the opposition. He's back with the government by 2013. Then in 2015, he's out with the government again. And then if he gets a phone call and the Prime Minister invites him over, he comes back and tells you, Matt, it's about business now. It's not about politics. That's the ambition. I mean, this guy, I had a lot of ambition and I was aspiring to be like this man. But when I listen to this man again, and I almost want to puke.
Let me ask, because I'm just asking on behalf of the callers at this time. Somebody's asking, has Floyd Capitola sold his morality for 30 pieces of silver? How do you defend that, Floyd?
Matt, some people call it morality. I call it maturity. I had an association with a group of persons whom, by influence of certain persons who made me believe that this was a wrong association. In my youthfulness and my naivety, I followed them. After getting close to this group of people, I realized, these guys are worse than where I was. They pretend to want integrity. They pretend to speak integrity. They pretend to be honest. They pretend to be genuine. I mean, when you think of what they did to Joshua and how they're in love with Joshua again, it just gives you an example. These guys pretend to be what they're not. They speak with one tongue. They will speak at the front of you. This is what they want. But at the back, ask them how they go about managing their campaign funds and things of that nature. There's no integrity in the management of their office.
A repeat of a conversation I had with Floyd Capitola. Last week, Friday. Of course, in that expose, if you will, he made a few accusations about Gabriel Christian. And I've never known Gabriel Christian to duck a conversation or a chance to respond. He's on the line with me at this point from Washington. Good afternoon to you, Gabriel. I know you've listened to the conversation. What's your immediate reaction to Floyd Capitola, sir?
Well, you know what the sad thing is, Matt, and good afternoon to you, good afternoon to all your listeners, is how this regime continues to use poor people's children like Capitolian. Poor people's children like Capitolian. To go out on the air and genuflect like on bended knee before Massa on the plantation and to tell fairy tales. You know, Matt, this is not about hopscotch and about coming out and attacking Gabriel Christian. We've made one confirmed strong call, and that is for a commission of inquiry into the government of Dominica's program of selling passports and appointing mobsters as diplomats. It's now before the world. It's on 60 Minutes, and it's going to go around the world because they have not done the right thing, and that is to act responsibly and to indeed impanel a commission led by a distinguished Caribbean jurist with a member of the official opposition, a forensic auditor from a Commonwealth country or the Caribbean, a member of the government, to summon witnesses under oath at the Parliament, broadcast live, the same way it's done in civilized democratic countries like the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, where Dominicans live. So I'm not going to be drawn into a sort of back and forth with Floyd Capitolian, but I'll just say this about him, my dear friend. My friend, if I can address you and others like you, don't debase yourself and don't tell lies for your master. Capitolian, I never came to you. You came to my home and said to me that Skerrit is dishonest, he's a thief, and he's a liar, and you'll not associate yourself with him. It was then we decided, myself, Sam, Washway Douglas, and others, to form the Real Labour Party. Do you remember that, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
The Real Labour Party. Do you remember that? Because we know that not all Labour Party supporters, like I have been, believed in what was going on. We did a meeting in New York, Unity in Progress. Lennox was there, Thompson Fontaine was broadcast in Dominica. We said Team Dominica. The meeting was over. Elections came up, and there's a difference of opinion between Lennox Linton and myself about how things should be run. And I said, you know what, I'll step back. The United Workers' Party is the official opposition. The folks on the ground, they know best. I'm a practicing attorney. I love my country. I will continue to play my part. The government of Dominica, led by Roosevelt Skerrit in particular, wrote me trying to get me to go out there and attack Lennox and attack Thompson. Did you ever hear me do that, Matt?
No.
Okay. The reason I didn't do that, even though I had of positions tactically and differences with them, is because I was not going to divide the focus from instituting a government of integrity. The government won the election. They won the election by bringing in voters and so forth. But let me just tell you something about me and where I stand. And you can agree with me or disagree with me. I have been a person that if I meet Bill Gates today in Washington at a meeting, and I can get Bill Gates to come to Dominica, I'll call Colin Piper at Invest Dominica. I'll call Rhoda Leighton at Invest Dominica. You can ask them over the years whether I have not called them and tried to help Dominica, despite the fact that I have criticized the government of Dominica. You see, we have to differentiate, Matt, between the government of Dominica, the regime of Skerrit, and the ordinary boys and girls in Dominica who are looking to get a job, who are looking to make a living, who are looking to get an education. So I'm the kind of person that even when I criticize Roosevelt Skerrit and his dishonesty or the manner in which he is governing the country, if I see an investor who is willing to invest in Dominica, I will bring them to Dominica. I will boldly go up to the financial center. The financial center is not Labour Party headquarters, you know, man. The financial center is not the home of Roosevelt Skerrit. It was built by taxpayers' money. It was built by taxpayers' money. It is owned by the government and the people of Dominica, and every Dominican has a right to go in there. What they have done in this new crypto dictatorship is that they've made it as such that every time you go to the Ministry of Health or of Education, that you're going to beg massa for something, that you're going hand in front and on knees to beg for something. These folks have made themselves our masters, the masters of the ordinary poor Dominicans, while they wine and dine all over the world with their rich friends and give them passports for monies under the table, because we know that the wealth that they've acquired did not come from their salaries. Let me repeat. We know that the wealth they've acquired, they and their cronies, did not come from their salaries or for doing traffic cases in Roseau. Didn't happen. It came from the prostitution of the passport program. And so I'm not going to be deterred by the likes of Tony Astafan. Nobody hired him as Prime Minister. I'm not going to be deterred by the likes of Floyd Capitolian, my poor friend, who admitted that he was lied to 3 times, said the same thing to me. I didn't even know you had it on radio. I'm surprised you had it on radio. He just said it to me personally. But now I understand he's working for the government. And what this government has done is, if you are an employee of the government, they intimidate you.
But clear something for me quickly, Gabriel Christian, because of course he made that accusation in that clip there as it relates to you coming up to the steps of the ministry and talking to him. You were on a mission, you were trying to get some passports, and right now it appears that it's a case of sour grapes. Can you just clear that for me, please?
I came to the ministry. I brought investors to the ministry many times, between the ascension to power of the Labour Party government and recently, 2013, 2012. I brought people to Dominica. I brought the University of Maryland just the other day to Dominica. We're at the Dominica Grammar School. Should I not bring them? Should I? So when you bring investors to Dominica, you're now a pawn of Skerrit. I met the gentleman. I exchanged greetings with him. But I never said to him anything about this is business now and politics. I never had any discussion of politics with Capitolian, because I know Capitolian at that time when I met him in 2014 had gone on to the other side. And he had stopped calling me and stopped answering my calls because the phones are tapped. So the fact of the matter is I never had that discussion with him, but I did meet him at the ministry where I was there with investors. I was there with investors along Curtis Town, people who about 4 or 5 years ago, you will remember,
I don't know what happened there. I can't say what happened. I'll try. I'll try again to reconnect with Mr. Gabriel Christian. Stick around. I know you're locked in there, huh? We got a break in the call. I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you. We'll stick around. I'll call you back in the next few minutes, okay? Let's take a few phone calls. Already my telephones are overloaded of calls. Hello, talk to me.
Blessings to you, my brother.
Uh-huh.
I hope you did not say, I'll talk to you in private. Let me not tell you that on the air.
No.
Like we're fighting. I don't want it to appear like we're fighting.
No. You, Blessings, I'll tell you, sometimes we will agree. I will not always agree with you. We'll agree to disagree. And that's what democracy is about.
Matt, let us leave that one alone. You get blessings. Matt,
true.
The brother just mentioned the phones are tapped. And then it did not take 5 seconds. And his call get disconnected. Let us leave that alone.
We'll go back to it. We'll try to connect again.
I pray that you do. That's why I was not even. But I just tried because maybe you can't get him yet. Matt, it's very interesting what the brother said. The way people are being used to genuflect in front of this guy. You're on your knees. You're begging, please. And it is a bit strange that on the radio station the brother made his revelation having to do in the manner of which in the manner or in the way in which he was treated by Roosevelt Skerrit, how he was lied to. And I know, my brother Matt, I can put it on the record. Yesterday I was at the health center. I hope his sister is doing well, because she had a close call yesterday, Matt. You there with me?
I'm there.
The same Floyd Capitole, like, pray that his sister is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And you must be careful, Matt. I'm Capitole. I'll talk to you. Let me tell you, Matt, because on the same radio station he made the disclosure. Could it be a command? Could it be an imposition that you have to go back on the same radio station and cry out your heart and soul? And Gabriel Christian was the perfect stepping stone for you to come and make amends, so to speak, and show atonement to your God. Please, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was naive. I was ambitious. Matt, I'm glad, I have none ambition. Because some people, Matt, they will give the heart and soul to be somebody when they already have all what it takes to be somebody. Because the perceived notion out there, what it takes to be somebody, some people will kill. And I'm not insinuating anything about the brother, to be what we call somebody, and it is sad. I'm sorry for you, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take another phone call again, and we'll try to get in touch with Mr. Gabriel Christian in a minute. He has already responded to me, speaking to me there on WhatsApp, asking whether it's a sabotage. We'll find out in a minute. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Uh-huh.
Matt, I was born in Labour. I was born in the headquarters of the Labour Party. Does that mean I cannot change my opinion and join another party without some kind of a fracas, without some kind of a action against me? It's not a democracy. A man should be free to choose whichever way he wants. If he's criticized, he's criticized, but it's not the end of the world. And according to what Mr. Christian is saying, he went there with investors. As of today, Roosevelt Skerrit is saying he's been encouraging the private sector to come forward and invest. And the best he could do is, we know who, one of his own lawyers. And we've yet to see an investor from the outside. Only one of his investors, he says, oh, I'm glad they're responding. And he's citing this one investor, his own lawyer. Shame. Good afternoon.
1:27 is the afternoon time. Let's take an overseas call, and then we'll take a break and try to reconnect with Gabriel Christian out of Washington. This is Talk on the Block. Hello.
Yes, my brother. Good day. How you doing?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. Matt, for the last 5-6 years, we've had a technique, of just dealing with individuals, and personal attacks of anyone who stands up and asks the question of this government. I hope we can make Gabriel the last one. I hope we can start taking this focus away from the individual. Let us deal with this message. Let us deal with this message. What I would love is to hear patriots calling this radio station and lending their support towards this call for a referendum, a commission of inquiry. What I'd like to know is even you yourself, as the host of this program, take a stand as to where do you really stand. Let your voice to it and call for it. Because this personal attacking thing, bro, that's all that happens every time you challenge, and the real message gets lost in that personal nonsense. Let us make an effort, bro. Let us make an effort on this particular issue to stay away from that person.
What I can't do as the host, and I'll make that to you very clear, Lloyd, is to tell people who call the radio station what to say and what not to say, because tomorrow that very shoe might turn. Okay, so never as a host try to get involved in trying to help people or trying to push people to say what you want them to say. You have to try to stay very clear of that. I've learned that in the many years I've been on radio. I'm just, putting that forward. Okay, thank you very much. It's your opinion. If you feel that they should, then they'll call the radio station and do just what you've advised. But as the host, you try to stay as far away from that as possible. Thank you very much. 1:30.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Matt, good afternoon to your listeners.
Yes.
Floyd Capitola said to us on record that he no longer associates with Roosevelt Skerrit and his regime because he lied to him on 3 different occasions. Now, Floyd is not a stupid person. He come back now when he tell us he apologized to Mr. Skerrit because he was immature. I want to ask Floyd Capitola, when did he become mature? That is the question. Because when he made those statements, what year he made that statement, Matt?
That was maybe 2010, 2011.
2010, 2011. We're now in 2017. And he's coming now to say he apologized because he was immature. When did you become mature? So when people criticize people should not criticize Mr. Skerrit. Is Mr. Skerrit the god of Floyd Capitola where he has to go and kneel down? Was Floyd Capitola sent on that very same radio station to apologize to secure his job or whatever? People have to have... you have to stand for what you believe. And if you stand for what you believe, people will not be able to do things with you. If you don't stand for what you believe, you will fall for anything. And I don't believe Floyd when he comes to say that he was immature and things like that. He knew very well what was happening. This type of people, they look for their pocket. They are opportunists and they support party who can look out for themselves. He is one that have been building homes and selling homes. So he feels everything is good for him. So he must now come back to tell us that he apologized to Mr. Skerrit. Apologize for what? Gabriel Christian is a citizen of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and he has a right, just as every one of us have a right, to criticize Mr. Skerrit because he's supposed to be the servant of the people. Finally, instead of attacking Gabriel Christian, you should have asked him whether he feels the passport system is open and transparent, and what is his policy, what is his aim, what does he support, and what does he believe?
I guess you missed that question. I did ask him whether he supports the call for the Commission of Inquiry. We're coming back after this.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Last week was super, this week will be exceptional. Stand on 10 in collaboration with headline sponsor DG Sub present Kaiso Stingray. This is Saturday, January 21 at the Strip in Lale Coco. 8:30 p.m. Featuring the clash of the sexes, men against women. Tasha P against Carissa, Janae against Hunter, Stingray against Checker, Nasha against Observer, Alicia against Daddy Chess, Dale against Hunter, Lady V versus DBS.
Nice
Also Web, Shadow Flow, Lucas Comforter, Crispy, Jammer, B, Peaky, Earl Wine Jr., Omi, Healer, Stefan.
I love you.
Also Genius, JD, Hixie, Son of the State Intruder, Dino, be your trendsetter. Love J this Saturday at the Strip in Lale Coco. Backed by the Swinging Stars, MCs, Powell and Lady Star. Entrance $20. Partners include Caribbean, Big Ed, Soccer, and Dominic, Dominican National Lotteries, Mania 7-Eleven, and Milan's Grill. Mabao, Petro Caribbean Courts, Vibes Radio, 5.6, SCS, Q95 FM, The Signman, Zionist Visual Ads, KRO FM, DBS Radio, Mapping to KFD, and one more.
Only way this time.
This Saturday, January 21, at the Strip Lale Coco, Stadium, Puerto.
Okay, let's go back and to Washington there and join Gabriel Christian. The call, we lost that call earlier. Don't know what happened, but he's back on the line. Yes, Mr. Christian. Yes.
Well, they've got the help of Chinese intelligence. They've hacked my phone. They broke into my office computer. They look at our emails. None of that was, according to Bob Marley, none of that will stop the time. We're in dangerous waters. Let me tell you what I want to have the Dominican public understand. When 60 Minutes was a program on Dominica, it takes about a year to do a 60 Minutes program. 1 year. They didn't do that program. They didn't do that program because of DAS, because of Thompson Fontaine or Gabriel Christian. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, they did that program. They did that program because their investigations suggest action involved. Okay? Now, John Kelly, General John Kelly, former head of Southern Command, is now the new Director of Homeland Security. Are you listening?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Last year, he testified on the Hill, and he questioned some of these programs that some of our islands have. So in Washington, what happens is the press, if they get any hint of a change in U.S. policy, they begin to investigate to understand why that policy may be contemplated. As far as that policy change is concerned, why is it being contemplated? Therein lies the root of the concern I have. Because what I don't want is for our poor people to be sanctioned because of the crooked governance of our leadership. Let me repeat what I'm saying. They're trying to blame Lennox Linton and they're trying to assassinate me and Sam and all the others. But what I'm trying to say to the Dominican public now is that they have interest in the United States, national security interest, that are concerned about these programs. And if we cannot show that these programs are duly diligent in the way they are done, they're transparent, they're accountable, that they're not using mules. You know what a mule is? Do you know what a mule is, man?
Yes.
These are people that drug dealers, money launderers who used to carry drugs, carry money. We have been using the diplomatic passports to give to mobsters, and then they say that they did not know. Let me share with the Dominican population that I have sent to you, as of this morning, an article within which is an ABC News report from 1997, where Ng Lap Seng, Mr. Wu, the friend of the Prime Minister, someone who was appointed a diplomat by this regime, is being targeted for money laundering. That is 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And they claim they did not know. I could find that out on the internet by just a cursory search. So when you have this kind of scandalous, disreputable, criminal enterprise associated with our government, our people will suffer, because when the government is sanctioned, we are under that government and our people will suffer. Matt, I could just walk away and say, I don't care, I've done my best for Dominica, but I love Dominica. I believe in my people. I know that a lot of our people have been deluded, they've been lied to, they've been misinformed, but I do not want them to say they did not know. The warning I'm sending is very clear. We are under the microscope. We're in the crosshairs of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're in the crosshairs of the National Security Agency. They're looking at the way in which Dominica's government has debased the whole idea of diplomacy by chasing after mobsters, people who are linked to the Cosa Nostra, to people who are involved in money laundering, to appoint them as diplomats of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And that is why we are firm, we are asking for a commission of inquiry. There's a second point I want to make. Mr. Levi, the Attorney General, be careful, sir. Don't end up like Leo Austin. They are planning a public order act With all the ills we have in Dominica, a Public Order Act, the laws that are there are sufficient to protect law and order. But it's because of the way they've debased the police force that it's not working the way that it should, and we have crimes and crimes and crimes upon crimes. The reason they want to increase repressive legislation is because the same way they brought people from overseas to steal the election, the same way they have denied the right to have electoral reform and to clean the voters list and to have voter ID cards, there's word that they are trying to ensure that their friends who have paid for passports overseas are allowed to vote in our local elections. We're saying to the government of Dominica, and we're sending a stern warning, don't try it. Do not allow these people to come and vote and taint our elections. You see, our constitution, when it was formed in 1978, does not allow for two tiers of citizenship. If you're a Dominican citizen, you're a citizen. You can vote. You know what that means, Matt? For those persons who want citizenship, what does that mean, Matt?
Repeat the question.
For those who have bought their citizenship, what does it mean with regard to their right to vote in our elections?
Well, they can vote if they're citizens. They would be able to vote. And
Absolutely.
They would be.
Absolutely. You understand the danger? So if you know we're a small country. I sent you an article where in 2017, our population is 74,882. The voting population is 72,484. How could that be? The voting population and the residential population is almost the same thing. It means babies are voting too in Dominica. It means Lazarus is voting. Look, listen, this is ridiculous. We are also calling for electoral reform because the danger exists in a place like Dominica where 2 or 3 votes can sway an election. They bring the people in to vote from overseas, including these folks, and none of us can stop them because they'll be legitimate citizens and we'll have a tyranny in Dominica. We'll never be able to remove the regime from power. That is what their plan is, and that is why they are increasing the efforts to bring in repressive legislation so they can oppress the people of Dominica who are already oppressed beyond compare in the economic decline that we're facing and in the intimidation we're facing of people like Dr. Sam Christian and Dr. Dale Dangleman, people who are qualified U.S.-trained doctors, and we have doctors from China and from Cuba and Dominicans because they raise their voice and they criticize the Dominica government for its misconduct. They try to crush you. They try to crush poor people's children, and they run around saying they're a Labour Party. They're frauds. They're nothing more than that, and the law now has thrown them out overseas. Their friends are in jail, and how dangerous it is. Mr. Ash, the Antiguan ambassador to the United Nations, who was arrested with lapsing. What happened to him?
But let me ask Gabriel Christian, because you gave the government, of course, a couple of days ago, some 15 days to put their act together and call for this commission of inquiry. Where are we in terms of a way forward with this call?
Well, let me just say this. The poll on Scientific, though it may be, shows 83% of the folks who have voted have called for the inquiry. The overwhelming majority of people in the diaspora who have contacted me, who've inboxed me, who've written online, have called for the inquiry. There are only 2 people, 3. One who's hiding his face, called some strange name, Felix Aaron, I believe, and another called Clarence Christian. I think you know him. Another one called Paul Alexander, who are online like they have no work to do all day supporting the cause not to have the commission inquiry. Well, you know, the government says it has nothing to hide. It's as white as the driven snow. It has done no wrong. So why is it afraid? If the government will not investigate itself, we will continue its lawless behavior. We just have to go to the international community and our friends and allies and let them know that in Dominica we have a lawless regime that is not to be trusted and that doesn't represent us, because we don't want people in the world to believe that that's what Dominicans are about. That's not what Dominicans are about. The majority of Dominicans are honest, hardworking, intelligent, beautiful people. We're not a bunch of criminals, and we will not go down that way as a bunch of criminals. We will let the world know that they're upright, honest, decent Dominicans who disassociate themselves with the criminal enterprise that's posing as the government of Dominica.
But since your announcement, Gabriel Christian, I mean, you have been under a barrage of criticism from the government and their supporters. Do you feel intimidated by you know, some of these criticisms of you?
Matt, thank you for saying that. When you stand tall, by the grace of Almighty God, you fear no one. I only fear God. He is our maker. He will decide how long we live and how soon we die. And I fear no man. and scared is not a god. He's made himself a god. He's put himself above the people as their master. He's lied to the people. He's stolen from the people, and we know it to be true because of what has happened in the country. And the reality of it is, we need to have a stop to it. It's as simple as that. And when you attack me because I simply asked for a commission of inquiry, I've committed no crime. I've done nothing wrong. I'm simply said to you to do what is in our democratic tradition, to have a commission of inquiry. You've stolen our hope, sir. You've stolen our self-respect. Maybe if you do a commission of inquiry, you can regain that which you've lost.
All right. Any final words or parting words before you go today? Is any? I think I read about some regional meeting among leaders being planned very soon. Regional.
Yes, we're going to rally leaders of the Caribbean community and folks in the media to let them know that, as I said, that Dominicans are good, honest, intelligent people. We don't believe in governance of the kind. We have no business in Macau. We have no business with Maduke. We have no business with Corallo. We do not know these people. These people are not Dominicans. These people are imposters who've been foisted on us. These people are people who are involved in money laundering and all other sort of bribery and thievery. Don't put that on us. That's not our reputation. We have sons and daughters, poor people's children who've gone all over the world to Harvard, Yale, MIT, Georgetown, Howard, good places, good schools, worked hard, done well for themselves, who want to help their country. That's who we should be looking to work with. And that's what we try to do with the Dominica Academy. We're serious people, Matt. We brought together the Dominica Academy. You first met me at the University of New Orleans. That's where you met me. You didn't meet me in Macau, in some bordello, in some striptease club, being feted, wined and dined, given watches and sexual favors. That's not where you met me. You met me, Brother Ruzi, at the university, trying to get education for poor people's children so we can rise above our circumstance. And when we as decent people, criticize, which is our right to do in a democracy, they turn on us and they send their junkyard dogs after us to try to tear our flesh off our bones, destroy us, destroy our businesses, threaten our families. And we're not going to stand for that. We're not intimidated. We stand tall. We stand with the people. We stand with the official opposition and all Dominicans. We're not members of the opposition, the UWP, but we respect their role in the country. We respect the role of Lennox Linton and all the other people who stand in the Freedom Party, in civil society, the trade unions, the police force, the teaching service, the fire service, all the good people in the customs service. I appeal to you to let others know that we are good people. And when tourists come to Dominica, treat them well. If you meet an investor, bring them to Dominica, try to bring them to Dominica, because we're still saying we need investment, but it will be difficult to make any progress with this government, because what they do is if you brought an investor to Dominica, they send their agents into the ministry, they take email, they open private letters, and they post it online. How can you trust this disreputable government? They post it online, they take papers from investors, and in their political campaign to destroy their critiques, they post it on the internet. They post it online. Is this a government? Is this a government, Matt Peltier? You tell me.
Good question there. 146. Thank you.
Last week was super. This week will be exceptional. Spend on 10 in collaboration with headline sponsor DG Sub present Kaiso Tingule. This is Saturday, January 21 at the Strip in Lale Coco. 8:30 p.m. Featuring the clash of the sexes, men against women. Tasha P against Carissa, Janae against Hunter, Stingray against Checker, Nasha against Observer, Alicia against Daddy Chess, Dale against Hunter, Lady V versus DBS. Also Web, Shadow Flow, Lucas Comforter, Crispy, Jammer B, Peaky, Wine Jr., Omi, Hila, Stefan. Also Genius, JD, Hixie, Son of the State Intruder, Dino, be your trendsetter. Love J this Saturday at the Strip in Lale Coco. Backed by the Swinging Stars, MCs, Powell and Lady Star. Entrance $20. Partners include Karen Beer, Big Ed, Soccer, Rum, Dominic, Dominican National Lotteries, Mania 7-Eleven, and Milan's Grill. Napalm, Petro Caribbean Courts, Vibes Radio, 5.6, ACS, Q95 FM, the Simon Zionist Visual Ads. Get the fastest home internet on island from Digicel Play. With speeds 3 times faster than the competitor, plus over 60% savings. Pay only $89 monthly for 8 megabytes internet with Digicel Play. Sign up with a sales representative in your community or call 616-1600 or 616-1700. Experience the fastest home internet with Digicel Play. Digicel terms and conditions apply. Saturn 10 presents Royalty Night on Wednesday, January 25th, 2017, 8:30 p.m. at the Strip Lale Coco on the Lubia Highway. Appearances by the 2017 Queen contestants, Miss Jamboree and Modest Queen contestants. Also a special royalty classic session with King Tronada. Also King Wizard. King Scrunta. Royalty Night. Over 20 Stardom quarterfinalists, backed up by Swinging Stars MCs Powerball and Lady Star. Headline sponsor Digicel Caribbean, Big Edge Soccer Rum, Dublin, Dominican National Lotteries, Mania 711 Plus and Milan's Bar and Grill, Mapao Petro Caribbean Court, Vibes Radio, Simis Visual Arts, ACS New India Insurance, QFM, KRFM, TVS Radio, Mapping 2K4, TNO, The Sideman and more.
I have learned that from experience. Accepting gifts like a
Saturday 10th Royalty Night, Wednesday, January 25th, 8:30 p.m. at the Strip Lale Coco. Carnival starts at Stardom.
This is worriness.
.51 is the afternoon time. Let's take a phone call. Hello.
Matt, good afternoon.
To you, sir.
Matt, I am hoping that the next administration that takes over the leadership role in government in this country does not behave like this one. That when the opposition members, which they criticize are doing nothing, when they do bring something forward, that they will encourage it, recognize it to be a good thing, and give them their flowers for it. That when you have outstanding candidates like Joshua Francis in his constituency, they'll be recognized by the government side as being outstanding and lift them up and work in a kind of a cooperative spirit, because right now it is just like open warfare and it's kind of distasteful. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. Very interesting times we live in. Talk to me, hello.
Hey, Matt Kelsey. Good day. How are you, sir?
How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing?
Good. Calling from Washington in full support of Gabriel.
Okay.
My classmate. I'll tell you one thing. We'll do whatever we can from this side to see that Dominica weathers the storm. Whether we succeed or not, I don't know. It's something else, but it's another story. But I'll tell you, we're angry. We're fired up, and we will not let these guys run over Dominica. That is a bequest to them and the associates.
What are you really angry about?
What am I angry about? I think there are lots of things to be angry about. Obviously, diplomatic passports. I think Gabriel articulated the issue quite a bit. The governance structure in Dominica, the victimization that's taking place. I mean, the list here to La Plaine, And I think you know more than I do because obviously you're on the ground and you're one of the premier journalists on the island. The fact of the matter is that, you cannot, when people, this is democracy, right? The very essence of democracy, that you have pro and you have anti-forces, but all in the interest of the country. I don't have to.
That's what democracy is about, yes.
Yeah, and I think, and so, it's been pulled away from everybody. I mean, and folks have been saying this for quite some time. I'm not sure people are paying attention. I've been telling these guys this, 12 years, that something is happening. I'm not comfortable with it. And obviously, I think this has come to fruition right now. The issue here is that, do you think if there's a next election in Dominica and Skerrit and his crew wins, what's going to happen? You ain't seen nothing yet. And then the other thing is, you talk about electoral reform, you talk about all this. This is what democracy is all about. Gabriel talks about a commission of inquiry. This is what democracy is all about. Now, there's a session here on February 11th by Caribbean Nation at one of the universities in D.C., where we're going to be talking about the issue of Dominica. And they've invited the ambassador, Vince Henderson, all right, who is so confident, Dr. Henderson, who is so confident. I hope he shows up to defend his government. I hope because obviously a conversation in Washington, D.C. does not stay there. It goes through. Let me just remind you, there's a new administration in Washington, right? Let me just remind you again also, General John Kelly, who was the commander of the Southern Forces, which Southern Region, he is the national security advisor to this new president. Listen, we're not going to just sit down and take things like this. Folks on the ground, we have a duty, okay? And our duty is that Dominica is our home. Yeah, we may be 2,000 nautical miles away, right? But this is our home. This is our allegiance is to Dominica. And so I think if these guys think that folks are just going to play dead and lie and play dead on the radio and cheer people up, well, they can do whatever they want. I mean, that's their prerogative. The issue is that we'll do whatever we have to do. And we will, it may take some time, of course. I'm not preaching violence or anything like this. But I think we will do whatever we have to do. I think enough is enough. I think the message and the notice to be sent to Skerrit and his crew is that Dominica belongs to Dominicans. That's who it belongs to. It doesn't belong to a select crew or select group. That's nonsense. And then we'll fit it. And, you just want to tell folks, hold on, we'll see this thing through.
Thank you very much. We have to take a break before we wrap it up. Let's do this and come back.
Have you heard the good news? Go tell your friends in Europe and Martinique that they can now come to Dominica via ART flight from Martinique on Saturdays and Mondays. Attention tout le monde affaires, musiciens, riverains, vacanciers. Zone pile option présent au pays français et Europe pour la Dominique. ART also facilitates seamless connections to and from Europe via Paris on Air France. Take advantage of ART's low fares from Dominica to Martinique or Martinique to Dominica, starting at only €59 one way. Or €109 return, tax inclusive. These low fares do not include carrier luggage and is non-refundable.
more great news from Esau Trading Limited. Just received a wide range of pet food in sizes from 500 grams to 25 kilogram bags. Bandit, Monello, and Burbo brand for regular pets and sterilized pets, all at the best prices. Visit any of our outlets and save on your quality pet food. Esau Trading Limited, best quality, best price.
Ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parade, the non-stop fets, Dominica Nights, Dominiki Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221. Ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parade, the non-stop fets, Dominica Nights, Dominiki Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.